Okay, so here are week 2 exercises, and our goal for this week is to find the inside of your foot and really strongly find the inside of your heel without your knee coming in. So if I get the weight to the inside of my foot, my knee does this, it's kind of like the system was just collapse in. So as I'm doing all of this, okay, I want to find the inside of my foot, particularly my heel, and I want to make sure that as I'm going up and down with some of the things I'll show you, the knee stays over about the third toe, okay? So you should feel some inner thigh working here going on. You might also feel the outside of your hip working. That's awesome. If you feel like the outside of your knee or your quad or things like that taking over, or your back jumping in, maybe slow down or, ask me for coaching cues. So exercise 1, as with last week, we're gonna put the block on the outside of your knee here like this. Okay, I'm going to turn my other foot out a little bit. I'm just going to bend my knees initially. And so what I want to do is kind of push the block out of my knee while letting the inside of my foot fold in here. And I'm just going to hold here and breathe initially. Okay, yeah, I'm just standing here. And I would hold here for just about 30 seconds, just kind of feel kind of the weight going into this side, feel the heaviness through the inside of this foot, etc. Feel the muscle activity taking hold, that sort of thing. And then we're just going to make really small up and down movements. So I'd hold for 30 seconds. I would do about maybe 15 little slow up and down movements here. Really just consciously focusing on the inside of this right foot. Then you just rest for 30, 60 seconds. Do it again. Do that 3 times. Then we're going to move into a wall sit. So the wall sit, I'm thinking about a couple things. Number 1, what we just talked about, my foot. So weights to the inside of my foot, my heel. Very important that we get heel heavy. So weights to the inside of the heel, and you may need to turn the right foot out a little bit. You might even move your right foot in front of your left foot a little bit. But what I need is, or what I want you to do is keep your knee in line with about the third toe, find the inside of your foot. We're going to reach the right arm forward again, and I'm just kind of looking forward as well and just breathing. Just taking these long, deep breaths. Heavy through the back side of my waist, particularly on the right-hand side. Heavy through the inside of my right foot. Again, just holding here. And again, I would hold for 30 seconds. I would turn my foot out as necessary to make sure that we get the muscle activity that is associated with what we want there. Okay. Again, in 2 to 3 sets, about 30 to 60 seconds, you should feel kind of this area working, and you should be able to clearly feel the inside of your foot while your knee is kind of in line with the third toe. Now, 2 more things to do. I'm going to put a foam roller behind my back here. And if you don't have a foam roller, you could use maybe, I would get a foam roller, okay, but you could use maybe like a stability ball, maybe, but ideally you get a foam roller, just something small. I'm going to send you a link for this. But thing 1 is that what I don't want to do is this. So, what we're trying to avoid is that, like kind of the hips thrusting forward. So what that's going to look like is, I'm going to get the roller in my mid-back, and I'm kind of like bring my hips back under me a little bit. As opposed to doing that, I'm going like that. I'm going to get a little bit heavier on this right-hand side. And again, I'm going to find the foot contact that allows me to get the inside of my foot working. Okay, so I'm holding here. And first of all, I'm going to bend my knees and going to come into about the depth of the wall sit, maybe a little lower. I'm going to hold here. And then I'm just going to do these little pulses up and down. Again, kind of keeping my butt back a little bit and staying heavy through this heel in particular. Like very, very heavy through the inside of this heel on the right-hand side. And just moving up and down. And, when you're doing that, again, you're going to get a lot of like burning and, whatnot, or at least you're going to feel these muscles working, somewhat preferentially. And you're going to need to play with that. You might need to turn your foot out a little bit. You can maybe point it forward, whatever it may be. But I want you to find a position that allows for that. Okay, and you can do that by, again, turning your foot out. You can also do it by moving your foot forward a little bit in front of you and then just playing around with turnout versus forward. Okay, the right position, your knee's not going to collapse in. You're going to feel the appropriate muscle activity, which is inner thigh. So that's that. Last but not least, we're going to do all fours breathing, okay, or rock back breathing. So with this one, what's going to happen is I'm going to come on my elbows, okay, and I want the weight to be here, like on the inside of my elbow and kind of the heel of my hands. I'm going to hold in this position. I'm just going to shift to the left-hand side. Just kind of shift my body weight over the left. And I'm just going to breathe in this position. Just going to do about 8 breaths. I'm thinking about sort of reaching my shoulder blades apart a little bit without them shrugging. Think about just almost like pushing your rib cage back over your body here. Maybe get a little abs there. That's fine. I'm just breathing. But just breathing through my nose, very relaxed. Not a lot of muscle activity. And I'm just holding. And I will say as well, the one thing with your knees is that I don't want my knees to be too close together. I can kind of splay them out. I want to be able to feel maybe the inside of my knees somewhat as I'm doing that, just like I'm feeling the inside of my elbow and the heel of my hand. So that's the last exercise. I would do 3 sets of 8 breaths there. That's your sequence for this week, man. Good stuff. Talk to you soon.